Okay, good evening and welcome to this evening's Crestwood Board of Education meeting on November 22nd, 2021. I call this meeting to order at 7:05. Ms. Janoon, please take roll.
Mrs. Berry?
Here.
Mr. Baydoun?
Here.
Ms. Elzayat?
Here.
Ms. Fawaz?
Here.
Myself, Ms. Kaminsky?
Here.
Mr. Sabo?
Here.
And Chair of a quorum.
Okay. Pledge of allegiance, please. All rise. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Ms. Janoon, consent agenda, please.
Board of Education approval is recommended for the items listed on the consent agenda, which include the November 22nd, 2021 board agenda, the minutes from the study session on Monday, November 8th, 2021, the minutes from the regular meeting on Monday, November 8th, 2021, and the minutes from the special meeting Monday, November 15th, 2021.
Support.
We have a motion on the floor from Ms. Janoon, supported by Ms. Kaminsky, that the Board of Education approval is recommended for the item listed on the consent agenda, which include the November 22nd, 21 board agenda, the minutes from the regular study session on Monday, November 8th, 2021, the minutes from the regular meeting on Monday, November 8th, 2021, and the minutes from the special meeting Monday, November 15th, 2021. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Okay, business report. Ms. Morgan?
Number 1 is the approval of requisitions. The attached list of requisitions are items that buildings or departments would like to purchase for their upcoming needs. The requisitions have gone through all the appropriate approval processes and have been approved by administration for purchase. In addition, there are funds available to make these purchases. Once the requisitions are approved, they will be processed and purchase orders will be sent out.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Sabo?
I recommend that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the requisitions per attachment 5A1.
Support.
We have a motion on the floor from Mr. Sabo, supported by Ms. Janoon, that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the requisitions per attachment 5A1. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Number 2, approval of confirming purchase orders. The attached confirming purchase order is an item that needed to be processed prior to the board approval. The purchase was for software for the building's trade classroom.
Madam Chair,
Ms. Kaminsky?
I recommend that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the confirming purchase orders per attachment 5A2.
Support.
We have a motion on the floor by Ms. Kaminsky, supported by Mr. Sabo, that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the confirming purchase orders per attachment 5A2. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Number 3, approval of Wayne Risa Master Service Agreement. Crestwood School District has been utilizing Risa software systems, Smart and MyStar, to maintain our financial records and pupil accounting records. The contract term will be July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2026. The cost is per pupil rate based on the district's FTE.
Madam Chair?
Ms. Janoon?
The Crestwood Board of, I recommend that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the Wayne Risa Master Service Agreement per attachment 5A3.
Support.
We have a motion on the floor from Ms. Janoon, supported by Ms. Kaminsky, that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the Wayne Risa Master Service Agreement per attachment 5A3. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you. Number 4, approval of Athletico contract. Crestwood Athletics would like to enter into a contract with Athletico Physical Therapy to provide a trainer for the district's athletic competitions. The company would provide 1 certified athletic trainer for 40 hours per week for the winter and spring seasons. The trainer would work with our teams to evaluate injuries, work with athletes to prevent injuries, and assist with concussion protocol and other screenings. The contract would run through June 30th, 2022.
Madam Chair?
Ms. Fawaz?
I recommend that the Crestwood Board of Education approves the Athletico Physical Therapy contract through June 30th, 2022. See attachment 5A4.
Support.
We have a motion on the floor from Ms. Fawaz, supported by Ms. Janoon, that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the athletical physical therapy contract through June 30th, 2022. See attachment 5A4. Is there any discussion?
Yes.
Bless you.
Yes, please.
Yes, Mr. Sabo.
Question is, we voted on a contract for Beaumont not too long ago,
We did.
and we approved that contract for a 12-month period.
We did.
And they have obviously stepped out of that contract for purposes of,
Their trainer has been unable, do not
they
have a trainer.
lost their trainer. They
They've
lost
lost
their
their
trainer, and they
trainer,
couldn't replace, is that what
And
it
they've
was?
been unable to replace that trainer.
And the difference in contractual obligation financially, is it significant from the Beaumont contract to this?
The Beaumont contract was 30,000, this is 31,000.
This is 31,000.
Mm-hmm.
31,000 was for 12 months. I should say 30,000 was 12 months. This is for just through the spring though.
It is for the last 2 semesters, yes,
So this is a more expensive contract?
yes.
Okay. Is Beaumont going to be fulfilling the rest of their contract, or is the contract now null and void?
We've talked to Beaumont, and at this time, we are continuing with the contract. If they do get us a trainer, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But right now, they do not foresee us getting us a trainer until at least April or May. So therefore, it's pretty much the whole season.
So
They
if
have 5 positions before our position to hire, and they haven't been able to fill any of them.
Sure. If they were able to get somebody, would we be able to get out of this athletical contract, which is more expensive?
We can get out of the Beaumont contract sooner than we can get out of this one.
If I may, Beaumont is in an understanding that we do not want them to rush forward and try to find a replacement, because we need somebody now, and therefore Beaumont finds a replacement, we will not be taking that replacement, and they're in an understanding with us.
Mr. Baydun.
So, from my understanding, I didn't read the contract, but Beaumont's in breach of contract because they didn't provide, we didn't sign a contract to have a specific individual as a district. We asked for a trainer through Beaumont, correct?
Correct.
So if they didn't replace the current, then they're in breach of contract. Just as a recommendation, I think we need to clear up the Beaumont side before we sign another contract with someone else in case there's any loopholes and then any exposure to the district.
Well, we're not paying anything on the Beaumont side. We only pay for Beaumont contract when they provide services.
But
Therefore,
did they release my point is, did they release us from their obligation of the contract?
they can, yes.
Do we have anything in writing?
It's a 30-day out clause regardless.
And they're outside that 30 days,
Yes.
obviously,
Yes.
since
Madam Chair?
September.
And I want to make, the only charge is for when we have somebody on staff. Therefore, we're not paying Beaumont and Athletic.
They can't force a person on us is the question I think he's trying to
No,
ask.
my point is, if you can't enter into contract with 2 opposing parties at the same time for the same service, that opens us up for legal issues, exposure, right?
Correct,
So-
except for the fact that they can't fulfill their contract.
Right, so did we get them to release their end of the contract before we sign a new contract?
We've not terminated the contract with Beaumont as of yet, because
Okay.
their recommendation was to keep it, because they want to have us in line for next year. Because if we cancel their contract, that means they cancel everything for the open position, and we can't get one for next year.
But I don't know if they're such a great service, because the coaches were performing the trainer acts during these open months. We didn't have a trainer,
They're not certified.
and we're not certified, right? People are getting hurt, we're sending them to doctors right away. We don't know how to take precautionary ankles and wrists and whatnot. We can't perform these acts. My point is, they didn't provide, so do we want to stay with them in the future,
So
is my question.
being that, Trustee Baydun, being that that information is actually new information to me, if you can allow me to go back and research and find out what's happening through our athletic department, see what's through our athletic director and the athletic department, speak with the head coaches. If that is the case, then that brings in a new twist to the conversation.
Right, we didn't have a trainer in the district for a certain time. My point is, if they're in breach of contract, we can't sign another contract unless we relieve the current contract.
Unless the stipulations of the
So,
contract
okay.
nullify the contract based on either party breaking it with no
Hold on, Mr.
financial
Sabo, let's let
responsibility.
Ms. Alzayat speak, please.
I was just gonna say, I don't think that they're in breach of contract, because the contract states that they only get paid when they provide service. So if they haven't provided service, they're not in breach because they're not getting
That's not
paid.
what she said.
Yeah,
No, she
Are we,
said that.
we're
it's-
They said
currently
they have
paying
to
them for
provide within
providing
30
nobody?
days.
She said 30 days.
They're
30
outside-
days.
They're outside the 30 days.
Yeah, so we need to release
Right.
to move forward with a different company,
Yeah,
or it's a
I
conflict.
see what
Hold
he's
on.
saying.
I thought they only get paid when they provide service. Did we pay them for no service?
No, we've not paid them at all this year.
That's what I thought.
Ms. Janun?
So my question is, how do we have a contract for a set amount of, like $31,000, but yet we're only paying them if they provide service? Are we, no,
Which
my
com-
point is even right now, so right now, if our contract is for $31,000,
We're not getting paid.
no, I know.
I'm
I
sorry,
know.
that's what
No,
they're asking.
no.
Is
So
your question,
my
how was the
question is,
$31,000
How is the
determined?
$31,000 determined if we're only paying them when they're providing service? Why wouldn't it just be on a rate, like a, I don't know, like a, if you provide service for this amount of hours or on an hourly basis, because why do, it's kind of contradicting itself from what I'm understanding.
No, the Athletico contract is the way that they've established it, that they would give us 40 hours a week for the rest of the school year.
So then it's not based on whether or not they provide service. We're paying them $31,000 regardless.
With all the athletic events that we have, they will be working approximately
Indeed.
40 hours a week.
But that's fine, I'm
So if I may, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Morgan,
Mhm.
the $30,000 is established as an estimated amount of time of services that will be rendered. When those services are rendered, then you pay for those services rendered. So that it gives you an understanding of how much you need to budget, so that you're not paying as you go. You understand, all right, I have to set aside $30,000 for athletic trainer fees, but it could be less if they give us
So
less hours of service.
That's my question. Potentially, it could be less
Yes,
than.
it's based on an estimated
Okay.
amount of time, based on the amount of athletic events and hours needed.
Okay.
So to Mr. Baydun's comment, do we table this until you terminate that contract? Or do we vote on this?
If I may make the recommendation, I would like to table it.
Okay.
Have Ms. Morgan go back, have a conversation with Beaumont Athletical, and come back with some clearer details so that the board is aware and we're all clear.
Just
Thank you.
one more question then. Are we month to month with Athletico even without this contract?
We have been month to month. We
And is
did
it more
November.
expensive to go month to month than fulfill a full contract?
They won't continue to go month to month.
They will not continue to go.
Correct.
Okay, when is their contract end for the month? End of this month?
November 30th.
So if we table this, we won't have athletic coverage the first week of December.
So,
Go ahead, Mr. Baydun.
because I opened up this can of worms,
Yes.
I think it's fair to
It's
have
okay.
clarification. I think we need to ensure that we have trainers for the kids, irrelevant of the cost, right? We gotta have trainers. But on the flip side, what we need to do, I think we can vote on this, get an approval, and then once we know that we're not in breach or there's no exposure, I think we can move forward, right?
Well, can I say, like Dr. Masalam said, if we can table it, but we can still use their services?
Well,
I
no,
know.
their services are done November 30th.
We don't have a meeting.
That's the issue we're facing.
Technically, we have a session next week, if we can add an item on November 29th.
Do you want to do that?
That's fine with me.
Okay.
Okay, we can table it till the 29th.
Okay.
Okay.
that
Thank you.
works. Thank you.
We need to withdraw the motion.
I'll withdraw
We-
the
we-
motion.
Yeah, we need to withdraw support, I think, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead, you can,
We'll
I will
withdraw
motion.
the-
Ms. Fawaz with, are you gonna withdraw the motion?
She did,
Okay,
and I support.
and you support, okay. Okay, moving on.
That's all that I have. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Miss, Dr. Lazar, personnel report.
So our first action item on the personnel report this evening is the appointment of a food service lunch monitor for Highview Elementary, Miss Peggy Thomas. Miss Thomas is looking to keep busy for a few hours during the day and looking forward to spending that time with elementary students as a lunch monitor.
Madam Chair,
Ms. Elzayat?
recommend that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the hiring of Peggy Thomas as a lunch monitor for the 2021-2022 school year, according to the CFS contract Step 1, effective pending acceptable criminal background check and other employment documentation as required by law. See attachment 6A1.
Support.
We have a motion on the floor from Ms. Elzayat that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the hiring of Peggy Thomas as a lunch monitor for the 21-22 school year, according to the CFS contract, Step 1, effective pending acceptable criminal background check and other employment documentation as required by law. See attachment 6A1. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Second action item is also for an appointment in food services as a lunch monitor for Highview, Ms. Haura Alawadi. Ms. Alawadi has 2 children of her own. She has often volunteered her time in the past with lunch monitoring, school activities, and field trips, such as field trips and the PTA. Haura is excited to be starting employment at Highview Elementary.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Sabo.
I recommend that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the hiring of Haura Alawadi as a lunch monitor for the 2021-2022 school year according to the CFS contract. Step 1, effective pending acceptable criminal background check and other employment documentation as required by law. See attachment 6A2.
Support.
We have a motion on the floor from Mr. Sabah, supported by Ms. Fawaz, that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the hiring of Haura Alawadi as a lunch monitor for the 21-22 school year according to the CFS contract. Step 1, effective pending acceptable criminal background check and other employment documentation as required by law. See attachment 6A2. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Our third action item for this evening is the appointment of a Spanish teacher at Crestwood High School, Ms. Courtney Duran. Ms. Duran earned her Bachelor of Arts from the University of Michigan Ann Arbor and her Master of Arts in Educational Technology from the University of Michigan Dearborn. She has 11 years of teaching experience as a high school Spanish teacher and has also served as a research assistant where she collaborated with engineering students to create and develop lesson plans to promote STEM-related careers. Ms. Durant believes in promoting social-emotional learning activities to support students, as well as student-led goal setting and growth, and the development of multicultural events and activities that incorporate cross-curricular activities with the arts department.
Madam Chair?
Ms. Fawaz?
I recommend that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the hiring of Courtney Duran as a high school Spanish teacher for the 21-22 school year, according to the CFT contract. MA Step 5, effective pending acceptable criminal background check and other employment documentation as required by law. See attachment 6A3.
Support.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that one. Mr. Baidoon. Okay. We have a motion on the floor from Ms. Fawaz, supported by Mr. Baidoon, that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the hiring of Courtney Duran as a high school Spanish teacher for the 21-22 school year, according to the CFT contract. MA Step 5, effective pending acceptable criminal background check and other employment documentation as required by law. See attachment 6A3. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Our fourth action item is the appointment of a science teacher for Crestwood High School, Miss Emma Willett. Miss Willett has a Bachelor of Science in Secondary Integrated Science from Wayne State University. Her experiences include serving as a supplemental instructional leader and tutor at Wayne State, supporting university students with academic success in study skills, chemistry, and biology. She works to adapt teaching methods and instructional materials to meet the varying needs and interests of her students. Ms. Willett loves to integrate technology and hands-on activities into her lessons and collaborate with colleagues to enhance instruction to promote student learning.
Madam Chair,
Mr. Sabah.
I recommend that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the hiring of Miss Emma Willett as a high school science teacher for the 2021-2022 school year according to the CFT contract. BA Step 3, effective pending acceptable criminal background check and other employment documentation as required by law. See attachment 6A4.
We have a motion on the floor from Mr. Sabah, supported by Ms. Kaminsky, that the Crestwood Board of Education approve the hiring of Emma Willett as a high school science teacher for the 21-22 school year according to the CFT contract. BA Step 3, effective pending acceptable criminal background check and other employment documentation as required by law. See attachment 6A4. Is there any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, we have 2 informational items for this evening, both of which are a change in classification. The first is for Mr. Jose Rodriguez. From his change in classification is from substitute food service to part-time food service driver. Mr. Rodriguez has been with Crestwood School District since 2016. He has been working as a substitute in the food services department. He has filled in as the food service driver. He's very knowledgeable of the routes, school buildings, and food service procedures. He's also aware of occasional hazards and of safety precautions. Mr. Rodriguez holds a chauffeur's license and is happy to be able to become a permanent food service driver for the Crestwood School District. And the second change in classification as an informational item tonight is for Ms. Hannah Hesse. Her change in classification is from paraprofessional to pupil accounting secretary. Ms. Hesse has been with the Crestwood School District since 2008 as a paraprofessional. She has also served as a sub for the pupil accounting position during the summer months. She has been a member of the PTO, and Ms. Hesse has experience with student enrollment registration, MyStar student entry, and managing student overflow records. Ms. Hesse is very knowledgeable with Michigan State's UIC system and with the BAA system. We also have some resignations today. Ms. Fatma Selmasi, Spanish teacher at Crestwood High, resigning effective November 12th, 2021. But as you see in our action items, we have already found another teacher to fill that vacancy. And Mr. Dan Van Wasanova, PE teacher at Riverside Middle School, his resignation is effective December 6th of 2021.
Madam Chair?
Yeah, one real quick. How long ago did we hire Fatma Salmasi? It wasn't that long.
Not long.
Did she even start with us?
Yeah.
Did we do an exit interview with her?
Yeah, she's leaving education for a different type of position. We do send out the exit surveys, and you know, when they do fill them out, I do try to include in my Friday updates reasons for resignation if I have them. So if you refer to those Friday updates, it will give you more detailed information on the resignations that we don't share publicly.
Okay,
That was
Sala?
actually my question about the exit interviews.
okay.
Madam Chair.
Mr. Sabah?
Are we using a third-party exit interview process or template, or are we doing it ourselves?
We do it ourselves through a Google form that we share with them to fill out. The questions, however, are vetted from samples that have been developed and are available to us.
So they fill it out and send it in, and they're gone. Is there an actual exit interview where you're going over
Like an
it,
in-person interview?
even over the phone?
Over the phone, I have held some over the phone. A lot of times, they'll send in the email or call. I can't say that it's definitely part of the process, because sometimes somebody will share in an email and say, this is much closer to home for me, so they pretty much spell out the reasons. If there are ever any concerns listed, because we do leave an open-ended question at the end for them to fill in comments, or things that they wish we had done differently, things that we could improve on, you know, issues of that nature, I do follow up with a phone call and kind of ask them and have a more detailed conversation with them if those things come up. The resignations that we've seen this year, a lot of it has been closer to home. It is a teacher's market. They're able to make those moves now that they weren't able to make before. So if somebody had a 45-minute commute, that's down to 10 minutes now. They're making that move because they are now able to. So for the most part, I think, again, if any issues arise, there is a personal, I follow up with a personal phone call.
Just a recommendation.
Sure.
If you have 10 resignations a year, if that,
Sure.
it would be very beneficial for you to actually let the paper speak. Because if they're just putting answers on paper, a lot of times they know that's going to be held on to, and they may not speak exactly what it is or the true reason for their leaving. And not to say that there is a true reason other than what they're writing, but it's very beneficial for you to be able to move this district forward, to understand exactly why people are leaving. If they're going into a different sector, going into a different sector, but that's not going to always be the case, and people are not going to put that on paper. There has to be a verbal conversation to every resignation, otherwise we're going to miss the boat.
Absolutely. Noted.
you.
Any other questions from anyone?
Yeah, I'm just disappointed to hear
Yeah?
Mr. Van is moving on.
Does he live, well, forget it. remember you and I was asking, and I know you were gonna follow up with it. Do we have any type of, like, test skills or anything that we do with
Secretarial.
secretaries, not just secretaries, whoever, that we use to make sure that they have the skill set?
So with the paraprofessionals, it is a state mandate that they either hold the associate's degree or pass the test appropriate for them to holding that job, which we are ensuring does happen prior
Okay.
to offering them the position. With secretarial, there are basic math and typing pieces in place that would have to occur prior to them getting the position. Outside of that, there really aren't any like computer-related skills that would be necessary for a position.
Within the questions of the interview process, they ask specific questions in reference to the use of MyStar or use of Google. There isn't a set test that we use. That's not something we've developed. It is something that we will develop. We just have not.
That's what I wanted to hear.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't want to bring somebody
Nope.
in, because I've seen it happen, I'm
Yeah,
not
of
gonna
course.
lie to you.
Sure.
Where they brought somebody in, oh yeah, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this, and then, 3 months later, you're like, why isn't this being done? And then you find out, and then you have to,
There-
That's
that-
not a fun
I
thing to have
can-
to do.
I can put this in, we will have something developed by the first of the year.
okay, great, thank you.
But I do want to let you know that within the questioning though,
Mm-hmm.
there are specific questions to the use of Google Docs,
Okay, good,
it's basic Excel, basic Google Sheet work and MyStar.
okay, great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions from the board? Not, go ahead, you, superintendent's
That's okay.
comments. Thank you.
I talked
Sorry.
enough today. I'm ready for a nap.
Uh-huh,
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you, Board. Just a few updates. First off, I wanted to let the community know information has gone out. More information will go out. We will be holding a student vaccination clinic here at Riverside Middle School for children ages 5 through 12. The first dose will be December 3rd from 3:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. here at Riverside Middle School in the auditorium. The second dose will be January, I'm looking at my phone, sorry, because it just got updated. January 6th, from 3:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m., also here at the Riverside Middle School auditorium. You know, I'm hoping we get a large turnout, and I'm hoping to see a lot of our community members here. It'll help us. Thanksgiving break is here, 2 days away, well, 1 day away now, don't count today. But we have a Thanksgiving break coming up Wednesday, Thursday, Friday of this week. We look forward to everyone hopefully having some downtime and some rest and relaxation. Be safe with your families. COVID puts a damper on everything, so please, just everyone be safe. And finally, I just wanted to talk about just in general, I wanted to speak to our teachers and our community. These last couple weeks, I've spent a lot of time in the buildings, and I've had a lot of conversations with teachers and different people. I want to commend Riverside. I don't want to go too much in detail, but you know, I think it was 2 weeks ago. I lose track of time. I think it was 2 weeks ago. I sent out an invite asking for volunteers to come to a brainstorming session to talk about how do we make Riverside great. You know, how do we take it to the next level? 22 staff members volunteered an hour and a half of their time and were very open to the conversation. And we got a lot of data, and I shared a lot of that data with the board. I appreciate that. If we're gonna take our district to the next level, it's not about decisions that the superintendent makes, but it's about the work we do as a team together to take our district to the next level. We have a lot of great people in this district who work very hard, but they're stressed out, they're tired. Coming off of COVID has been difficult. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine who's also a superintendent, and they were like, man, superintendents are dropping like flies, and we started laughing. But we said, hey, if COVID's just gonna make us stronger, because when COVID's over, man, it's gonna be a breeze, a walk in the park. I'm looking forward to those days. So I want to thank the community and everyone, and I also want to thank the community who really took to heart the message that we sent out in reference to, you know, keeping a close eye on your children for symptoms. That's really helped us. So we want to continue moving forward. There will be communication coming out from our office tomorrow morning in reference to moving to virtual learning for the week after Thanksgiving. Teachers, will be teaching live instruction from their classroom. So the students will be following their regular schedule. There's not going to be any change in schedule. And what we're asking parents to do during this process is, if you're struggling with your child, reach out to the school, let us know. If you need more help from your teacher, reach out to us, let us know. We can't help if we don't know. And I make a promise to you that anyone that reaches out to any administrator that is seeking support, we will get you that support. If you need help from the tech department, they're there, reach out, they'll help you out. The three of them are like a team of 150, God bless them. So more information will be coming out with specifics, and I appreciate the board's discussion and commentary on that. we're going to continue to say it. COVID is an unprecedented territory. Every time something happens, we learn something new. We learn what we don't know. We learn what we do know. We try to figure out what is the best next steps. And like I was speaking to someone today, we need to get everyone to understand that everyone in Lansing and everyone in Washington, D.C., as much as you think we're back to normal, we are not back to normal. And we need time to help repair the lost time our children have had. Our teachers, the Board of Education, the administration, I can tell you this for a fact, spend on average 25 to 30% of their day on COVID stuff. That's 25 to 30% that takes away from learning. So we feel it, we hear you, we're working. God bless you. Maybe that was the sneeze that takes us to the next level. I'm a little bit superstitious. So again, thank you. I apologize for getting on my soapbox. I am an educator. I am an educator. I am an educator. And that's what I am. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. With that being said, do we have enough Chromebooks for any additional new students that we've received? How are we going to inform the families if they do need a Chromebook or something to work with while they're on that week break?
So Mr. Green and his team actually updated me a couple days ago. Every Chromebook that has been requested has been delivered. Lower elementary, kinder first, and maybe second, but I know kinder, just kinder and first. It was decided to keep the Chromebooks in the classroom until there was a need. So being that tomorrow we have school, those can be passed out tomorrow. And then, even though we'll be virtual the week after, anyone that needs a Chromebook, all they need to do is contact the school and we can get them one. So we do have enough Chromebooks for anyone who is in need of a Chromebook.
So you will be available in the building if that's the situation?
Yes, buildings will be open.
Okay. Yes, because the staff will be working from the buildings.
It's just the only difference is our kids will be online instead of in the classroom with the teachers.
Okay, and so what are we doing with GSRP students?
GSRP would be the same situation.
Chromebooks?
Yes.
Thank you for that.
Very welcome.
Okay, with that, is there any public comments? Nothing? Yes. Oh, does he need to fill out a?
That's okay.
That's okay. Come on up, Mr. Jafer.
Hello, everyone. My name is Naam Samir Jafer. I actually graduated from Crestwood in 2018. And now I'm a substitute teacher in the district. And I just want to say I'm very impressed of what a long way we have come. I actually substituted Kinlock Elementary as my first assignment, second grade. And I was shocked to see every student had a Chromebook. And every student knew how to log in and do what they had to do. And anyone that didn't know had someone next to them that knew how to show them. So I just want to say I'm very impressed, and because of that, I think my first house is going to be in Dearborn Heights.
Thank you.
And just to let you know, this is my nephew, and he was telling me this story, and I said, you know what? Wouldn't that be nice for you to come and say something nice instead of all? So thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And if there's anything, thank you for that. But if there's ever anything you see we can do better, also let me know. Because we're always looking to strive to get better. But thank you so much for that.
You're doing a great job.
Thank you, appreciate you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, isn't it? Refreshing. Anything from the board, Mr. Hassan Beydoun?
Well said, thank you.
All set. Mr. Saba?
Yeah.
No?
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody, I guess. Happy holidays.
Thank
I
you.
think we talked about families getting together. Last year was just horrendous. I am gonna be getting with my family, so, I'm looking forward to that, and there are some fears, I'm not gonna lie to you, but I do wish everybody a very safe and happy Thanksgiving, and, go blue for those, Michigan fans, this weekend. I just wanted to make sure we put that out there. That's all I have.
Well, you're wearing the colors.
I wear those colors internally, too. You just can't see them, yeah.
Ms. Fawaz?
I'd like to also wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving. Stay safe. Congratulate Riverside for Saturday's robotics competition. I know one of the teams did win one of the awards, and then Hillcrest placed in the top 3. So that was another good thing. All the staff was great, kids. I know they had a lot of fun. And then I think for updates for the after-school tutoring, I think the last I heard was there was like 4 teacher volunteers or something. So I was just wondering, and I know now with the holidays, it's obviously gonna take a back door, but any timing on when we'd be able to start that?
I will get information specifically from the principals, what they have, what their timeline is, and I'll put in the next Friday update if that is okay.
Okay, thank you.
Let me put that in my notes.
Other than that, thank you.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Noon?
I just want to say thank you to our staff, and obviously I know the stress that, of having to deal with 7 board members and our different personalities and questions, and know that at the end of the day, no matter what, I know that all of us are coming from a good place, and the children's safety is always top priority. There's so many different things that come into play and so many different things to consider, and there's never gonna be a 100% right answer, and I know that. I know our staff, I did have a staff member that was just super stressed out, and I know that there's so many additional things put on their plate that, I know how many times have we said, you said you just hope that you wake up one day and COVID is gone. Now more than ever, I think that's what we pray for, but thank you to you guys for everything you guys do. I know that we all want the same thing. How we get there, it might differ, but that's okay, because hopefully we will get there, so, thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Kaminsky?
I just want to say happy Thanksgiving to everybody also. I want to commend Kayla on play the last 2 weekends. It was great. It was funny. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The audience did. There was a lot of laughter, so nice job, and I can't wait for the next play. And a special happy Thanksgiving to the Dietzig family. Mr. Dietzig's been pretty ill, and he's now off the ventilator and in rehab, and so we want to continue to send prayers his way and wish them all well. That's it.
Thank you.
Danielle?
Yep, so I'd like to say, first of all, congratulations to Councilman Mo Beydoun, who was sworn in here at Riverside Middle School tonight. Very proud of him. I'm glad, and I was happy to go with Mo. Also, a big thank you from the Amity Foundation to everyone, actually a big thank you to the Amity Foundation, I'll say it that way, for boxing and delivering over 1,000 Thanksgiving meals to our community, which most of those were in our Crestwood district. And they'll be passing out coats soon to those same families. So I wanted to say thank you to them. And I wanted to wish everybody a very happy Thanksgiving. I'm thankful that I'm safe, I'm thankful that I'm healthy, and I wish the same for all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and last but not least, I do want to say happy Thanksgiving, and please, please remember the importance of staying safe, the importance of trying to social distance. I know that this is family time, but we want to be able to come back healthy and ready to learn. So please keep that in mind. We know that families will be getting together. If you do get sick, please remember to let the schools know, don't come back to school if you're sick until you get tested, or contact our nurse so we can keep this under control. It's so important that we all work on this together because we want a safe community, we want a healthy community, and we want kids back in school learning. Again, this was a very tough decision. You guys heard it. So help us so we don't have to make those tough decisions. That's all I have to say. Thank you to all, and happy Thanksgiving to everyone. With
Thank
that,
you. Madam Chair,
Ms. Kaminsky.
a motion to adjourn, support.
Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Good night, everyone.
Good night, thank you.